What is going on, guys? Sorry it's been a while since the last video. This is probably my third time trying to film this video. You know how life goes. I've got work, I've got school, family. Now I finally got time to do this third movie review of the year. Our third movie of the year is Glass. We got an M. Night Shyamalan movie in here. One thing here that I'm going to do for this video, I'm going to do a certain point of the review without spoilers. Then I'll get to a certain point and shout, this is where the spoilers come in, spoiler warning and whatnot. And for those of you who haven't seen the movie but want to see a rating, I'll put a time at that point where you can skip to so you can see the movie rating at the end of the video. Glass it's a third part of the movies Unbreakable and Split, which are two other M. Night Shyamalan movies that have been done before. It's not like it's an ongoing, this is part 1, this is part 2, this is part 3. It's like Split and Unbreakable kind of just go, and then this is the movie where they meet. It's like Marvel, I guess. So Iron Man's doing his thing, Thor's doing his thing, Hulk's doing his thing, Captain America's doing his thing, and they all just meet up for Avengers. That's how Glass is. Glass is basically Unbreakable and Split meeting together. And if you haven't seen Unbreakable or Split, I highly recommend you go watch those movies before you go watch Glass. They have key points. You're gonna miss out so much if you go see Glass before seeing either of these movies. If you haven't seen any, you won't know anything that's happening. If you don't see one, you will definitely be confused during certain parts of the movie. I highly recommend you go check out those movies before going to watch Glass. This movie basically picks up where the last two movies left off. So David Dunn is now like a full-time kind of superhero with his son helping him. They now call him the Overseer. They call David Dunn the Overseer now, which I guess that's his superhero name, which is pretty cool. Elijah Price, Mr. Glass, he is in a psych ward. He's been arrested thanks to David Dunn. And then Kevin and the Horde, they're still doing praise the beast kind of stuff. I guess those who are innocent and whatnot have not seen any dark days or anything like, have seen no trouble within their life, which is what the Horde does for the beast, and that's who he preys on. One thing I wanted to, when I was on the way to the theater, I was kind of curious how these movies were gonna just come together. I didn't know how that was gonna be, or how, like, if it was gonna be good or if it was gonna be bad. But how these movies intertwined and came together, how did were these movies compatible? Yes, I think they were, because you've got Kevin and the Horde doing villainous things. You've got David Dunn and the Overseer doing things for good. And then you got Mr. Glass, the mastermind who's behind the villain. It's a classic comic book series. This is a third-part series. Unbreakable is a story about David Dunn. Split's the movie about Kevin and the Horde. And this, Glass, is a movie about Mr. Glass. These movies were very compatible. They came together as the Horde doing bad, David doing good, and they just meet. They have to, the good's gonna fight the bad, and that's how the movie starts. I want to say the way the movie started, it started on a high note, very intense through just the start of the movie, and then it kind of just died down. The movie was basically like a skate ramp. It started high, calm through the whole middle, and then ended high again. A very well played out movie. M. Night Shyamalan, pretty much used to that. So as of any holes in this movie, thought that kind of just were suspicious and whatnot, and just kind of, there was a couple of scenes where it was just kind of like, it wasn't bad. No, it definitely wasn't bad. It was just kind of like, could have done that in a different way, but I don't know. The psychology of the movie was very good, like, because at a certain point they all get caught and they're all in the psych ward together. This doctor, she kind of just breaks down all of their powers, she says, to like a science, like, you all have an excuse. She kind of just makes them settle down, like maybe they're not as super as they were thought out to believe. The background characters, they all play like kind of important roles in this movie. So you got David and his son. His son's kind of just like the guy in the chair as from Spider-Man Homecoming. For Kevin and the Horde, you got Casey from Split, the girl. And then for Elijah, you got his mom, who's just kind of influencing him the entire time, kind of helping him. Don't let them get you down. You're meant for so much more and whatnot. Very important, as they do have effects to some of these characters during certain scenes. It's just when you get to the ending and there's all this that's going on, and you think just all the fighting and whatnot is like the main point. I like this movie a lot because of typically M. Night Shyamalan does this thing. I like to just call them M. Night Shyamalan endings, and they're usually very confusing and people just like left unanswered questions and whatnot. But for this movie, for some reason, he threw all the curveballs out and nobody saw him coming. Just whew, what was that? So it was just like an M. Night Shyamalan on top of an M. Night Shyamalan ending and on top of an M. Night Shyamalan ending. It was like an M. Night Shyamalanception for this movie, and it was. But yeah, it was a very good movie, and I definitely enjoyed it. Okay, here's the part where the spoilers are gonna start going down. So I'm gonna call it right now. Push the button. Spoiler alert warning. So this is where I'm gonna go more in depth of the movie. Actually, like if you've seen the movie, this is where you can stay. So I don't know about any of y'all that saw the movie, but for me, I didn't 100% believe like the secret society thing at the end and whatnot, but the doctor just kind of felt fishy to me. She comes out and she knows the answers to everything for them. Just kind of debunks them. Usually when a doctor comes in like this and she knows everything about anybody, she usually explains, oh, this is how we got this. We talked to these people. We talked to your doctor. We looked at your files and whatnot. She gave no explanation on how she got any of the information she knew. She just, there you go. That's how I know everything already. It's just definitely very fishy to me. She had all the information with no explanation how she got it. And then she just had the smallest amount of time to kind of just convince them to not be superheroes or whatnot. That for sure was just fishy to me. Just the ending in general is all I really want to talk about. I mean, the fight scenes were really cool. David versus the Horde. Elijah helping Kevin and the Horde to try and just like be villains, be evil, be destructive, become more than the minor goals that they were set out to do, all at the same time while egging on David, doing the whole "you can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread man" kind of thing. When David Dunn's son came out and just like, Elijah killed your dad, never saw it coming. They set it up, but I ignored it. Usually I'm able to catch those things in movies, but it's like, oh, he left on a train. That should have already been like the first thing. Elijah, technically, with one incident, created two super beings. That train crash that he set to crash, he got David to come out, being the Superman, the superhuman, and then along the future, that killed Kevin's dad, which allowed his mother to abuse him physically, which he would create the Horde from that, which would bring out the Beast. Elijah created two super beings with just one incident. He was their creator, basically. But when his son comes out and just puts the pieces together, and Elijah's like, you were supposed to wait. But I'm not sure what I thought about the Secret Society. I think it was kind of just a lazy way to end the movie. Shooting Kevin while he wasn't the Beast, and they used Casey to bring him out so they can kill him, and then drowning David. I thought it was the laziest ending. I don't like when I read comics, watch comic book shows or movies, anything that usually involves a secret society. It's usually to keep balance. They don't just kill everybody. They kind of like, the superhero gets too much advantage, they help the villain so they can still come down and be equal. And then vice versa. If the villain gets too much an advantage, they help the superhero so they can be equal. They don't just kill them all. But then that was, I guess, because the train crash part was the first M. Night Shyamalan throw in. The Secret Society was second. But then Elijah using all their security system cameras to record everything that happened outside, and then him streaming all that through the internet. And you know how the internet works. It's if one person sees it, they're gonna share it to so and so people, and those people are going to share it to so and so people. That was genius, and Elijah being the mastermind of that. That was the third M. Night Shyamalan just throw in there, in which it kind of, that train was good and it started in a good direction. Secret Society for me was definitely a dive, and then I don't know, the streaming part of it and exposing them, saying superhumans are actually real and whatnot by Elijah, that was another boost up. So, I mean, I thought it was a great way to end the movie. All of that being said, final review of the movie, what the rating became. It's a really good movie. I do recommend it, but I also do recommend going to see Unbreakable and Split before going to watch this. And I've got to rate this movie an 8. I really enjoyed this movie. Thought it was very suspenseful, very smart as well. Usually that's something you see in superhero films. There's an intelligence to these people that they've got to outsmart one another and whatnot. I like those kind of movies. I hope you all liked and enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe. Alright, I'll see y'all guys next time, and don't forget to ride that wave.